sometimes. I'll be honest. When you get a bad ball from a goalkeeper, it completely can throw you off, and you're thinking, "What's
Ah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
here?" And then having to react to that. Don't get me wrong. You could even say, if you're really going to nitpick, you can say Virgil could have slid in and tried to stop the shot as well. I think ultimately you have to look at the first person who makes the mistake, who starts the domino effect. And in that particular situation, it was Adrian. And as you said, it's not the first mistake he's made that's led to goals or results. So, Drift, I'll come to you now. In terms of the Adrian situation, I know obviously we can't go and sign someone from abroad, but there are players in lower leagues, for example, Jack Butland, Ben Foster, David Raya. Do you think it's too reactionary to try and secure a goalkeeper before the 16th of October?
Not a chance. Not a chance. I don't want to come on here and start piling on him. Like you said, we've given him enough smoke. Let's leave him
We have.
alone. But all
We have.
jokes aside, he is not good enough. Like there's bad goalkeepers and then there's bad goalkeepers. And Adrian is a bad goalkeeper. He should never even be between the sticks at Liverpool in the first place. We were forced to have to get him because of the Mignolet situation. Klopp's loyalty to Mignolet to let him go. We needed to just bring someone in, whatever. But this summer, we should have done something about it. We should have. Do you know what I mean? He reached the top of the mountain. He got a medal he was never supposed to or even thought he would get. Fair play to him. He kept going. And I'm happy for him as a person. But in terms of thinking of the best for my club, Adrian cannot play for Liverpool. He will cost us tournaments and trophies. If you really deep it, and again, I don't want to keep piling on, but sometimes it's not piling on if you're talking facts. He's the reason we lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup, and he's the reason we lost to Atletico and went out the Champions League. And obviously other things happened along the way, but he's the major reason why those things happened. A lot of his other mistakes he got away with because we won the game. There's a 3-minute compilation going around now of mistakes that Adrian has made. Do you get what I mean? Like you just have to call a spade a spade. Do you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. We need to put that 17-year-old in and just see Wagwan. You know, sometimes it can't get any worse. Real talk. Flinging that 17-year-old. Look, I've seen that brother's face. I think it's a birth certificate lie anyway. He ain't 17. So in my opinion, fling him in and just see Wagwan, because the pressure of the Merseyside derby on top of the pressure that Adrian's already feeling, I'm smelling another mistake, you know. I'm so worried. He's going to come into that game. It's a pressure game. Everton are playing well, and I can just see it now. An Adrian fumble or a dodgy kick out or some. Do you remember how the Chelsea fans were telling us that Kepa was what had them worried, and we played them, and he actually did what they told us he was going to do? That is how I'm feeling right now about Adrian. Do you get what I mean? And I feel sorry for him as a person. Of course I do. I felt sorry for Karius as a person. But certain time, if that's your profession, you've got to be judged for what it is. And what Adrian's doing, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Even when you look at their third goal, I think it was, where we was too high up for the free kick. It was a poor line. I don't know why they've got a free kick and we're 30 yards out. Like, I don't get the high line thing. But when you look at the ball that gets played back across, you know, Adrian could have caught the header that was played back across the... Like, he's just not a good goalkeeper. He's got no positional sense. It's so difficult to not just be really horrible, but he's just not good enough.
Yeah, but
play that 17-year-old. I saw a 2-minute clip of that 17-year-old today that looks better than all of the best bits of Adrian's whole game.
Yeah, but do you know what? Do you know what the mad thing was with Adrian in that game? There's a bit where I don't know if you remember it, where the ball gets whipped in, and I think Watkins hits the
Yeah,
bar.
oh bloody hell, yeah.
He's
He hit the
nowhere
crossbar.
to be seen.
Bro, where was he going, bro? Where was he going?
He's going to the tunnel, mate. That's where he's going. He heard the whistle. Was like, yeah, the game's done.
Do you know what that looked like to me? Oh, I know all you lot must play computer, but I don't know if you're FIFA or Pro, man. But on Pro, there was always this thing where you would accidentally press the button while you were sprinting, and there'd be like a 3-second delay, and you couldn't cancel it. And at the end, it would always do something that you didn't want to do anymore because the moment had gone. Yeah. Adrian saw the ball coming in and thought, this is where it will land. I'll catch it here. and just didn't realize it's not going to happen anymore. So he just kept on going into the mode of catching the ball. And it was long gone. If that had gone in, do you know how embarrassing that would have been?
Yeah, I hear you. So, Biz, I'm going to ask you a very tough question. Now, Stroh mentioned his name. So we sent out another goalkeeper on loan to Union Berlin. Now, hindsight's obviously a beautiful thing. But if you could go back in time with a special machine, would you have kept Karius and made him our backup goalkeeper ahead of Adrian?
Oh, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same premise.
Sorry, the exasperation of pain there is very funny.
I just get flashbacks. I get flashbacks as soon as that name was mentioned. I was desperate for him to go, but it's the same. It's the same premise. I think the difference between Adrian and Karius, they're both very bad goalkeepers, I believe, and I think obviously it's best of a bad bunch out of the two. And I think Adrian's got where he is on merit based on. He's kind of like kept us afloat through the Super Cup, through the first few games of last season where Alisson was injured, and he's as Drifty said, he got his medal. Yeah, well done, fair play kind of thing. But I don't know. That's a very hard question. That I just all I see is that Champions League final when Karius is mentioned. It just haunts me still to this day. So I'd have to say I'd stick with Adrian just based on the fact that.
All right.
How bad does that sound?
I'm gonna put this.
There's no right answer, Biz. There's no right answer.
I'm gonna put this to you. I'm gonna put this to you, Rams. Rams, I'm going to put this to you. So, if I was to describe Adrian and Karius in their Liverpool terms, Karius has made the higher profile mistake, but Adrian's made the more consistent number of mistakes. So, again, just to sort of throw the question in your direction, would you want someone in between the sticks who may let you down in the final, or someone who may just let you down on a weekly basis?
From that terminology, I would go with Karius because I'm not playing him in the final. I'm playing Alisson in the final, no matter what. Even if he's injured, even if he's on a wheelchair, I'll be playing that guy. He's that good. But I don't know. They're both crap. They're both like mentality-wise. Loris Karius, I don't know where he's at because that must be haunting him every single day, that final, even if we did win the Champions League the next season and then the Premier League. But I'm trying to think of something good about him, but I can't. I honestly can't think anything good about him. That's a hard question. I can't answer that. I can't answer that question. It's too hard.
Cal, do you know what it's like? Remember when you were saying that you think Karius is the better goalkeeper, but he's scarred, and that is more what the problem is. He's Nate Diaz, bro. One jab to the face, and the scar opens up.
Bust open.
Yeah, but
straight away,
he keeps coming forward, though, innit? He keeps coming forward. He's not chinny. He's got a good chin on him. He's got a good chin on him. You know, if you're fighting Nate Diaz, you're in it from the first second to the last.
No. If you're talking about talent, I'm not comparing the talent, bro. I'm just saying Nate Diaz can be a minute into a fight and look like he's been battered for 5 rounds, but it's just one jab to the face and the scar tissue opens up. It's just how it is, isn't it? And I think Karius, when he plays, one little minor thing and that scar will just open up and it all comes back. I saw some of the mistakes he made for Besiktas, and it looked like the Liverpool final was just still in his head. He hasn't shaken the cobwebs. Do you get what I mean? And it's gonna carry him around forever.
Before that Champions League final, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad or anything. He was all right. He was actually a decent keeper. It's just that mistake that he made in the final is just it will do something to somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what it is? He never got.
Yeah,
he never got to justify it, and he shouldn't have. And it was good that we got Alisson in.
Let me stop you there, Drew. Don't you remember the friendlies? Do you remember?
No. What I mean is, vindication is more. You look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah knows it wasn't his fault that he had to come off injured in the 17-18 final. but that haunted him for a whole season. You saw when he banged in that penalty, that was a year's frustration coming out in that moment. I finally re-arrived where I was robbed of my moment, and I'm back. If we'd have been able to keep Karius in goal for a year, win that Champions League final, and he made a winning save, he would have been able to get over what happened in 17-18. But because he's never, ever been able to rectify that mistake, he will never, ever be able to get over it. Do you get what I mean?
I wonder if Karius was still here, would he excel and would his performance would be above what he did, because he has something to prove now. He wants to have that. He wants to show that he's not a crap goalkeeper. He's a decent goalkeeper, and he wants to repay the heartbreak that the Liverpool fans have felt in 2017-18.
Nah, because
he had that chance
trash.
at Besiktas and he was shit.
Yeah. I was going to say the heart might be willing, but the body's not able, I don't think.
Look, I'm all for the redemption story, man. Like,
yeah, and
a
goalkeeper's the worst position to over try. It just is. Like, you let it happen in goal. You don't over try, then you come out and you flap. And it's, you know what I mean? It's not good, is it? But,
it's like Pickford's in a similar place now, though, isn't he? Pickford, like everyone's saying, he's making all these mistakes, but he's still England #1. So all that's going to lead to is if he makes one mistake for England, he's just going to, it'll shatter him that, and then we've got a Karius at Everton as well, hopefully.